or now. There we go. I forgot to click the other button.
Oh, so we missed the cheer. Yay!
There we
can
go.
cheer again.
Okay, so here we go. One more time, if you can hear us loud and clear. Let us know in Twitch chat and Facebook live chat. Here we go. Yup, all okay. We'll be doing sound checks periodically throughout the stream. Hopefully I don't mute the microphone again this time. It happens. How's everybody doing out there? This is exciting. This is the big one.
This is it.
This is Space Age.
We blast off.
We're finally here.
Yes.
Wowzers, thanks for following us. Thank all of you here on Twitch TV and on Facebook Live for tuning in and hanging out with us. We're going to be showing off stuff for the very first time, Space Age today. This is pretty awesome. I see, come on guys, hello team, can hear you. Yup, all okay. Can you hear us now? Are we okay? Is our sound fine?
I hope so.
Too loud, too quiet.
Check, 1, 2, microphone. Hearing good. Okay, everything is good now. It's always like you get this like heart-stopping like, oh God, we did audio checks and then audio's not working. So you have to do like the signal flow chart in your head to make sure everything's okay. So anyway, quick announcements before we get started and introduce ourselves. Here's our social media channels. Please go ahead and give us a follow there. We update these every single day with new things DomiNations. So we have Twitter, Play DomiNations, Facebook Live, and Facebook Play DomiNations. We have a new blog where we're updating with new historical blogs and all sorts of fun things on there. So that's nexon.com/blog. And of course our forums where we have all sorts of patch notes and information about the game all the time. But let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Ash. I'm one of the community managers with Nexon.
Hi, I'm Greg. You might know me as the Tin Soldier, forums and other places.
You guys can do it now. Might as well.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Tara, I'm a producer on DomiNations.
And we got loads of guests in the back, so
Looking
if you want
at
to
my
come
list.
up,
You can come up and
that's
just
cool.
and say hi for a second, and then we'll have you guys do full introductions later. We
That's fine.
run a very loose ship here, so we're gonna have lots of people talking about the game. So
I could sit here. My name is Kristen. I'm an associate producer on DomiNations.
welcome.
And I'm Jazz. I'm back here. Hi.
Hi, Jazz.
I'll be
Welcome
up in a
back.
second.
Welcome back, Jazz.
Welcome back. So, a quick rundown of what I'm clapping into the microphone, which is like a big no-no. Quick rundown of what we're doing today. So, we're going to be showing off the yet-to-be-released patch notes for Space Age. So, we're going to be showing off lots of Space Age stuff.
Yes.
We'll be talking about a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that you haven't really heard anywhere else yet. So, we have a 2-hour stream. We'll be looking at a lot of community contributions as well in the second hour. We're going to be talking with producers, answering some questions, addressing community concerns, and basically just hanging out for 2 hours talking about DomiNations and showing off a lot of really fun stuff that I'm excited to show off. So,
Yeah, it'll be really good. I know that there's been a lot of people asking questions in advance and sharing your bases with us and things like that, so it'll be a good chance to look at exactly what's current and what's coming in DomiNations.
thanks for the follow, Lithuania86. So yeah, please, if you're not following us on Twitch TV, Nexon Mobile, or on Facebook, please do so. We would love to have you be part of our community. I'll do a very quick social plug one more time for those just tuning in. These channels are really near and dear to my heart. Obviously, we run them, but if you want to have information about some of the upcoming events, we usually announce 24 to 48 hours early. So if you like to get your planning done for your building and stuff a little bit early, we try and have a lot of information out there for the community early. We also do all sorts of really fun polls and stuff like that. We have the community vote between different units, which ones they like, which ones they don't like. And in the future, I can tease something. We're going to be using these polls to kind of fuel some fun stuff that's going on in the 4-year anniversary. So no real solid info on that. I don't even know if I'm really allowed to announce that yet. But polls are going to be a big part of the 4-year anniversary. And you guys are going to have a lot of say in some of the cool stuff that's going on, which I'm excited about.
Yeah. So that one wrapped recently. Did you have a feeling going into this on which one was going to be a winner? Did you think that people were going to say Vikings more or Pirates more? Or I know Tara, you had a strong feeling on.
It's absolutely Pirates. If it's not Pirates, you're voting incorrectly, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, well, so here are the results. We actually have these.
Yeah.
This poll just finished today. Pirates only got a 26%. Vikings got a 74%.
Staggering
Landslide, yeah.
And these are fun just to get to see what the community says. We had hundreds of different comments about why Vikings were better than Pirates on the social channels. So please keep your eyes on Facebook and the other social channels for fun things like this that we do. And we just like to chat with you guys and see what you love and what you don't love. So all sorts of good stuff. Do you guys want to do some patch notes?
Yeah, let's do some patch
Let's
notes.
do some patch notes. Hold on, let me click my doodads here, and we will get the patch notes open. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to kind of jump back and forth between these notes and some gameplay. So do you have it loaded up there?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you want to start with library stuff?
Do you want to start with library stuff? Okay, yeah.
All right, let's do it. We're going to jump on over there.
We're going to pop right to the library.
All
Upgrade
right.
to level 13. This will be the Space Age library. It'll have 4 new techs. They are as follows. Microprocessor. Archaeology. This feels a little like Jeopardy, right?
Yeah.
Anti-aircraft.
Survey says.
And offensive ballistics. So, is there a favorite that you have of these, or was there one that you particularly worked on more or enjoyed as development was happening?
So particularly offensive ballistics has some new stuff in it that we're going to talk about a little bit later. A lot of this language won't make a lot of sense until we talk about another feature that's coming in Space Age, but this is a library tech tree that is going to buff a brand new feature in Space Age that we're going to talk about in a bit. So I'm not going to go into it, but that one's my favorite because I really like that feature. I also think archaeology is really cool. I think that there's a lot of really great museum buffs in here that I think it's a really worthwhile tree to research. But what about you?
I don't really have anything in particular. At least not for
No favorite?
not for the new research.
All favorites then, yeah.
All favorites.
All favorites.
What about you,
They're
Jazz?
all my favorite.
Of what, library text?
Yeah.
I guess anti-aircraft, right? Everybody loves their planes.
Mm.
They love destroying me with their planes, so...
Right. And just so you know, this is like mic'd area. Back there, we can probably barely hear you. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
Okay.
Jazz was +1 for the anti-aircraft.
Yes, plus one for the anti-air. I got a comment in there that says that I used to be their history teacher. I apologize. I apologize for the history I taught you. No, I'm honored to have taught you history.
You're just teaching history in a different way.
I am.
Through the game.
Geo2690 followed us. Thank you, Geo, for the follow. Very good stuff. Oh, good. We heard that people can hear you back there. So thank you.
Good, awesome.
Good.
Awesome.
So
That's
yeah.
new.
Cool.
Thank you, microphone.
Yeah, the neat thing about archaeology is this is the first one that will buff museum things, right? Usually the museum is now affecting the rest of the game, and this is the first thing that sort of helps that as well, lift that up as well. So, coming full circle. So that's very, very cool.
Anything else in here we want to show off before we move on?
I don't know. Chat, is there anything going on in chat?
I see
You wanna know more about?
people were very excited about the second airstrip in chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw people going offensive silo !
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun thing. We'll get into more depth about in a little bit. So show off everything. We are going to show off everything. And it's we recognize your name from Twitter. Obli, how do you pronounce
Oh,
Obi? Obi.
Obi is
Obi.
how we pronounce it here. So
Obi.
yeah, if that's-
Obi. Hello from the community team, Obi. Air capacity total. We'll get into the specifics, I promise. So let's go back to the patch notes real quick and see what else is next. So new mercenaries.
Yes.
New mercenaries. Can we show any of these yet? Are we at a place where we can show them?
Very, very soon, because we'll have to upgrade our camp to level, to the next level, right? 12, 13? No, these guys are the new ones, yeah.
Zexlerv, thanks for the follow.
The Mercenary Cavalry Raider, good against resource building. The 2K12 KUB, Cub.
Cub.
Like a baby bear.
There's a little
history. Like a baby bear, I like that, yeah. Yeah. The
Always
surface,
a fan of the nerdy historical text.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. Surface-to-air missiles, just like a real baby bear would do as well. This heavy tank destroyer. All right, you'll get an update on that. Vulnerable to anti-tank guns, and the Soldier of Fortune will round out the pack. Destroy enemy buildings, and they're sneaky good at good damage, so they're pretty good to take as well.
I think they modeled his mustache after your mustache.
Perhaps I think I've been was that mustache modeling session? I think there were a couple of just making sure they wax properly.
SCLDEF22 followed us. Ash, take your hat off. Oh, nobody wants to see I didn't wash my hair. I had a hotel shampoo. I was not about to touch it, so I looked like I was electrocuted or something. Nobody wants that. What do they cost in trade goods is the question. So for the new mercenaries, do we have values that we can share yet, or is that to be announced later?
Maybe we can announce that a little later in the stream. I think there's a lot of stuff we want to look at and sort of poke around with first.
Okay,
and then maybe
so we'll
can
get
dive back
into we'll get into specifics about trade goods and what those merc costs are.
Yeah.
Perhaps later. Oh, I'm gonna ambush this for a second. Periodically through the stream, we're gonna be doing a couple giveaways. We have these Space Age patches. Now we can only ship these within the continental United States. So I'm sorry for our international viewers on Facebook Live and on Twitch TV, but we're going to be giving away a handful of these patches. So what we'll do is I will tell you how to win these in the near future. I'm not going to tell you now because chat will be flooded, and we don't want that. But these are actual patches. We're giving a handful of these away. These are for the development team and folks that worked on the game. So they're going to be incredibly rare.
Yes.
And you can display them on your flight suits and then take pictures of that and send it to us so we can share it on social media. But these are awesome. I think this is like one of the only ones that we have right now. So,
yes.
But anyway, we'll be giving those away later. I forgot to announce that. All right. So what else are we going to show off? I'm like going very fast. I'm also highly caffeinated. I apologize to everyone. This is how I operate.
That's
I get
part of the fun.
Way too caffeinated,
right.
And then I talk way too quickly, and everyone's like, "Slow down, man." So let's see. Mercs we showed off.
Yeah.
Can we show off anything with the generals?
With the generals. Bum, bum, bum. Oh no, I gotta update my oil. Updating refineries and things like that. So yeah, so you'll get obviously new art and new updates for all of your resource buildings. So this is the oil refinery. We can go down here to the markets, and they get a nice little uplift there as well. So we can take a look at the art a little better there. So that's the new market. As we push into the 1960s now, everything's got a little bit more of a vibe. This had the sort of the 50s drive-in type vibe, and now we move into a little more of the commercial 60s look for that. These are the new mills that you'll get. So nicely done there. All right, so we were bringing this fort to level 8. Bum, 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 bum. There's the new level fort, which the generals will be at. No new generals yet to announce. So they'll all be the same. We'll show some of those guys later off as well.
Just out of curiosity, who's everybody's favorite general?
Yeah, that's a great question for chat. So in chat, let us know who your favorite general is. We kind of had some social posts in the past weeks. We've been highlighting generals throughout history. So we did a highlight on Napoleon recently on the social channels, and another highlight on Joan of Arc. Who is your favorite right now? Let us know. I want to know. I'm curious.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're all really cool. I mean, like for me, historically, I think Joan of Arc's story is wild. I love it. I used to love teaching about Joan of Arc. Napoleon's story is equally wild. I remember I taught Napoleon's story once, and the ending of his story is so dynamic. I'm just shocked there hasn't been like a film, at least in the States, about Napoleon's rise and fall, because it's such a crazy story. You would never, it's very Hollywood. So I see lots of Joan. Hannibal, I see a Hannibal.
A new favorite, yeah, exactly.
He's on an elephant.
Yeah, Hannibal. I love his mechanics.
Yeah.
I don't have him in my personal game right now because he's kind of challenging to get your hands on, but I definitely love Hannibal. He's great. I see a MacArthur,
Yeah.
Alexander. Someone says I love that Nobunaga's in a tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It was a fun historical moment to say, okay, if they had access to this, then maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they should have tanks that are at least of their country of origin as well. So there's accuracy that way.
Someone says Tomo Gozen. Can we show her real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tomo Gozen should be in our stronghold, right?
Yeah, I think we added one of her.
Recently we added her.
We
Yeah, we
may
did.
have on maybe on your. Oh, there we
Oh,
did.
here we go, there we
did.
go.
We did add her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's new.
She's new. And with some of the new generals we've been introducing, they start to have their own unique play styles. So when you deploy her, she initially deploys on a horse, and then when the horse is defeated, she then gets off starts to fight on foot. Isn't that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That is a fun new mechanic.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We've been experimenting a lot lately with different mechanics on our generals. Like we had a bunch for our World War I Centennial that had a lot of AoE attack buffs and other cool stuff that they're doing, and then also favorite from a long time ago in oh no, his name is blanking me. Turtle Boat, Admiral Yi.
Yes.
Admiral Yi was also super cool, and so we wanted to give Gozen something really neat, and that was like a pretty obvious mechanic of jump off your horse and start fighting again. So it's
Right.
giving us a lot of leeway to experiment with new tech for new troops and stuff. It's been really fun.
Yeah, I love that. The turtle ship bombardment were super cool. It was very, very cool. All right, they're like, back to the space age. Sorry, we got sidetracked.
Well, that's the fun part, is we get all of human history to play with, right? So
true.
you can jump from Joan of
true.
Arc to Tomagos into the 1960s of whatever we're going to introduce next. We're talking about the second airstrip. Is that correct?
Yes. So let's jump back here. We have
cool.
Wonders first. You want to do
Wonders
that?
first,
Do you want to do Wonders?
Yeah. Let's do Wonders.
We're going to do Wonders. Eric Matthews, thank you for the follow. We very much appreciate it.
All right. So one of the wonders I was most excited about is the space shuttle. There's a piece of art across the hallway. When the game first launched, we had the Colosseum, and then there was another piece, and then there was the space shuttle at the bottom. And I think they created that asset or the first pass of that asset fairly early on. So it's exciting to finally say, like, yes, I'm going to choose this. Choose the space shuttle. Yes. But actually, before that, we should probably poke around and look at the rest of them first, right? You've got the Lotus Temple, which grants a bonus to resource generation once per day. These effects are stronger than under a peace treaty. You have the World Sphere Unisphere, which generates rubies once per day. Deploy your highest level defense coalition army when destroyed on defense. The Very Large Array reduces rally cooldown and allows you to collect a research or building speed up once per week. And the Space Shuttle, collect satellite scan tactic once per day that disables enemy traps. So we're going to start with this Space Shuttle. Yes, only one on the build page. There we go. And we can get them working on that.
I think one of the pieces I'm really excited about for all of these different wonders is that they kind of appeal to totally different playstyles, and there's not just like, this is the one for people who want something good in combat, this is the one for people who want resource production. Like, there are multiple of each one. So, like, if you are more focused on, some kind of, stuff on your base and you just want to build a lot, you have the Lotus Temple, and then you can do the Very Large Array for stuff like that. But then if you want combat, you've got the Unisphere, which is great on defense. The Space Shuttle is one of really cool, like, brand new tactic that I'm sure Greg is going to show here in a second. It's really exciting.
Yeah, we'll go into that when we go into battle, but just to have it on your base, I think is really cool and really iconic of the era that we're sort of starting to look at and starting to build towards. So let's get that.
It's very cool. I remember I actually got to see the last one of these go up, which was really, really special and really cool. So, because I live in that part of the country, So
it's got DomiNations written right there.
There you go.
It's also got the big huge games logo on the wing.
Yeah,
I love it. So I really quickly, what went into the decision making process when you guys were picking the new wonders for Space Age? Pardon me. What made you pick the ones that you picked?
This was actually a really great process. Like, this time around, we did a lot of, we had an open forum with the entire company. Everyone was welcome to come in and pitch different ideas. And we had 2 separate sessions of, here's the actual structures that we think would be cool and, unique from an art perspective. Like, what would look really interesting and striking on your base. And then we had an entirely separate conversation about what are the cool mechanics that we think would be interesting enough to facilitate wonders. And then when we put those 2 in a vacuum, our design team went around and picked, okay, what are the best ones, and let's match them with something as best as we can thematically. So it was really like a big group process that I really appreciated. Like, we involved everybody from every discipline. They didn't even have to be working on our project right now. It was just an open brainstorming session. So a lot of it was born out of, people throwing every idea they could at the wall and seeing what stuck.
Very cool. I like the choices that were made. They are, like you said, and like you said, I think their functionality, it does appeal to very different play styles. So there's going to be something for everyone, which I think is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the one that he's going to right now, the Unisphere, is pretty cool in the sense that it gives you rubies, which is that really sought-after alliance currency. If maybe you're a little dry on wars or needing some troops, you can get that little boost of ruby capacity. But on top of that, on defense, when the Unisphere is destroyed, it will spawn your highest defensive coalition as a defender on your base. And for people who are investing a lot of resources into that for their wars, it's a really powerful tool. You can get a huge, just boost of defenders. Also, if any of your defenders' highest levels are tied, it will pick one at random. So, you can get one, if you have 2 that are max level, then it will switch between either. Or if you have a specific one that you think is the best, you could max that one and leave your rest low so that you get guaranteed spawns from the Unisphere. It's a really interesting defending decision as well as where you're going to put it in the base. And since it looks so nice, I think most of the time we tend to like put the like Versailles non-wall wonders way off on the side of your base because it's not doing anything. This one's positioning matters, so I think it gives like a nice bright splash of color with the fountains that are animated right in the middle of your base.
Yeah.
I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, visually they are really striking. They're very different. They really stand out from the rest, and they're just super cool. I like them quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, general question. It says, do you ever consider ideas from gamers for these things when coming up with ideas? And this is a question I know we've answered before on the streams, but I think there's a good answer. It's like we're really are always paying attention to everything. Right. Don't you guys have like a bucket where you throw like great ideas into, essentially?
Yes, we certainly do. There's the places on the forums. There's an ideas and feature request section of the forums. You can, of course, leave any comment you want on any of the Twitter or Facebook stuff that we do. And yeah, we basically collect all that stuff and then distill it down and try it out. A lot of things that start as player seeds go through rounds of iteration and playtest before they make it into the game. So a lot of the little touches, some of the quality of life stuff that we can talk about here in a little bit, were player ideas of like, hey, I wish it was easier if we could do XYZ thing, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So
right,
just general improvements to try to make the game either easier or better or flow smoother and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of community concerns and suggestions are addressed in some capacity. So. Definitely, like, never hesitate to submit things on the social channels because people do get eyes on them, and there's a high likelihood that something you're suggesting other people have suggested before, and that's a good thing. I mean, if a lot of people are saying the same things, it can be more impactful. So definitely do not hesitate to say stuff. Can we say this yet? Level for Space Age. This was asked by Chessfoil.
Yeah.
Can we say it?
We are going to. Yes, we're going to announce it on this stream. I think we were waiting and hoping that Joe is going to join us shortly.
Yeah.
So we'll hold on to that.
So we'll hold on.
Yes, we will say.
We are going to announce it.
But just not yet.
And it's 1,000. You'll love it. No, it's not 1,000. I'm sorry. I'm dodging tomatoes.
There you go.
That would be pretty rough.
Yeah, we're inflating the numbers. Have fun.
All right. So what else are we showing off wonders wise? Have we shown them all?
This is the fourth wonder. This is the
Very large array.
Oh, it's the gold deposit. Pardon me, I'm stuck on that. There we go.
My favorite wonder.
So yeah, this is the very large array. So that's the final and fourth wonder. And then I guess we can head back to the patch notes for
Let's do it. Let's head back to the patch notes. All right. So we have offensive missile silo. Are you guys ready for this? This one's pretty exciting.
This is the one I wanted to talk
I know,
about.
you're very excited to talk about this.
It's so good.
All right, so let's talk quickly while this is loading up. Let's talk quickly about how this came to be, how offensive missile silo came to be, and some of the challenges of designing this, because it's very different than anything else that exists in the game currently. Mm-hmm. So you guys saw a little bit of the offensive missile silo in the intro video, the teaser that we launched today. So you saw it blowing stuff up. So can you tell us a little bit about its design and its functionality and sort of the challenges of creating something that's completely unique and new to the game?
Sure. I think it really kind of came out of, like, we heard a lot of people talking about how, offense needs a buff, offense needs a cool new toy to play with, and we really wanted something that made going up to the space age feel super good and super iconic. This was one of our ages, so we do wonders usually every other age. This was going to be one of the age with wonders, but we wanted to give it something special, something really cool that was like, okay, when I get to the space age, I get to upgrade to this, and it's going to feel like the space age. And one of the things we also saw mentioning, like, people talking about on social channels is everyone's always like, we want, more access to missile stuff. We want access to this big, huge technology, changed all of warfare when it became a thing. So, like, how can we do that in a way that is cool for players and really interesting for them to do? So, when you upgrade your missile silo to the missile silo that becomes available in the space age, it is now going to give you access to a new retrainable tactic called the Big Red Button.
Big Red Button.
Big Red Button. That's exactly what it's called. And we have a new level for the missile silos. You can see here on Greg's screen. looking at that. So the functionality itself kind of came from a standpoint of, we want to give players this cool fantasy. How can we do this in a way that's interesting, but not, the most overpowered thing in the world? Because then, if somebody's attacking from space age down, then it's just like, oh, I'm getting destroyed by these missiles. I can't do anything. So then we tried to find out ways to balance it, and I think I'd rather... Can you go into battle? I kind of want to see if you can use it. Can you do that or no?
Yes, we're gonna...
We saw a couple people that didn't see the teaser video, so while this is while this is upgrading and stuff, we'll quickly watch this. We'll leave the mic on.
Sure.
So we can kind of talk over this, but you get to see the big red button in action here too, which is pretty cool.
The first clip where it shows the space shuttle sort of taking off in the 2D illustration, we posted that to social channels and people were able to identify what the tanks were and what the soldiers were using. And there's the missile.
There's the big red button.
Yeah.
So essentially what it will do is when you go into battle, you'll get a reticle on the base somewhere. Now this is going to be, there's certain buildings that we've excluded, buildings aren't going to care too much about walls, farms, markets, those kind of stuff, but it will target one building, usually a pretty high value. And then after you start the battle, the button will have an arm time, and once the arm time is finished, you hit the big red button, a missile launches and deals a massive amount of damage to that building specifically, as well as light splash damage around to all the buildings next to it. So, part of the challenges that we had is how can we make a tactic that feels really cool and feels like you're actually using a missile without making it a free, I'm just going to drop it on the town center and get an immediate 5-star victory. And the way that we kind of settled on that was introduce a little bit of random chance into there. So it's going to be a randomly targeted reticle, but there's also ways that you can get more reticles, through the library research. So now you'll get 2 on the base, and there's also another one that I'm going to talk about a little bit later, which also gives you a 3rd. But not quite ready to talk about that.
I'm a big fan of RNG elements in games in general. Dating back to the D&D days where you never knew it was going to happen. So I love that it's a random reticle, but you can increase your odds through, basically other researching.
Yeah, so, and it will change every single time. If you, get a bad reticle on a base, you could theoretically go scout, go to a new one, just pick next match. The other things that you can do is that, it's not really a thing that you can do, but we thought that it was a good element to add into the game because so much of DomiNations is tactical and very specific and very focused. So this is actually something that will change your strategy. If you get to a certain point, it's this big defensive building over here that may not be the most optimal drop point may get taken out by the offensive missile silo. I'm going to choose to change my troop drop location point to where their defense is going to be weakest and punch through with the missile. Or if it's on another side, you can pick, okay, now I can actually do 2 deployments and do my main front and then my back front when the missile comes in. There's a lot of interesting decisions to make there, in my opinion. And through playtesting, we found that too.
From your playtests, how did your luck fare with the random? Did you generally hit stuff that you were hoping you'd hit, or was it just every once in a while you'd hit a farm out in the corner someplace?
You actually can't hit a farm.
Oh, okay.
So they're completely excluded from the list. You can't hit walls. You can't hit farms.
Okay.
So you're generally going to be hitting something of high value. There are definitely higher value targets than others. But at least during playtesting, I didn't find that any one target was more important than the other. I got really excited when I hit something really important, ooh, that really well-defended tank bunker is now, less than half health after a single tactic use. That's going to be really exciting. And, there were definitely more exciting points, but I never felt bad about using the silo on something that was, less high value, which I thought was really, really interesting. At least personally.
Yeah. I already see calls for nerf.
This is just my opinion, man.
And then a smiley face.
We'll see how strong you guys think it is. And it does have to be refilled during every single battle. So, bunker gets refilled on defense. Refill your offensive missile silo if you use the button in combat.
This is a good question relating to that. Does every player get another target in war specifically? So every time that you attack the same place, is it going to generate a random target, or is it going to be the same? Depending on...
No, it's picked when you go to battle.
Okay.
So if 2 people attack the same target with the same number of reticles, they will get different results every time.
Okay, so it's totally randomized.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome.
So we want to step through the tutorial here with Pompous?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's see what he has to say. Your missile silo can now be armed with oil. This allows you to launch missiles such as... Sorry, this is the pompous voice. I don't know if you've been here for this
Pompous
show.
voice is great.
I was wondering if you were going to do it. I was like, he hasn't done it in so long.
Put the pompous like emoji and just stick it in.
Someone's yelling, no!
This allows you to launch missiles at your enemies while attacking their base. Yes, so there you go.
That was good,
I got to
man.
bring that back, yeah. Cool.
good.
So we'll bring that to battle in just a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
we're
still,
gonna show off some of this stuff in action. So right now we're just kind of going through the patch notes, showing everything off, discussing it a bit, and then I think during the second portion, depending on how time goes, during the second portion of the show, we're gonna actually show us blowing stuff up.
Yeah.
So hang out and we'll do that too. So let's jump into patch
Also
notes.
was mistaken. You can hit farms and markets, but you can't hit walls, roads, or gold piles.
Okay,
So,
so you can't hit farms. But,
can't hit farms.
Okay. All right. So new university leader.
All right, new university leader. Let's go to our...
Do we want to? We can actually show her picture here. Yeah,
yeah.
let's do that real quick.
I got it.
I think I'll switch to the big cam for
Awesome.
a second here.
Sounds good. Yeah, so we're at the Big Huge Game Studio. I don't know if we announced that at the beginning or if you've seen it around long enough. But throughout the studio here, we've got posters of all of our great leaders for our university. So this is our brand new university leader, Sally Ride for the Space Age.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. So
There's
let's
not a
jump
great
on over
place that I
here
can put it without a
and
glare
talk about
on
what
it.
she does.
All right, so she requires the level 8 university, and she focuses a lot on the oil-using buildings and troops and things like that. She'll help your DomiNations oil bonus, things like machine gunners, factory hit points, commandos. Your Alliance Gate troop capacity increases donated troop cap by 5 per skill level researched. Your heavy tanks, your armored cars, your assault rally speed increases the move on assault rally by up to 18%. APCM MK3s.
It kind of looks
tactical
like Lady
helicopters.
Ash. Do I look like Sally Ride?
What?
I might be Sally. Maybe I'm Sally. Thank you, I guess. I think Sally Ride's pretty cool. Guys, like I could do worse, but thank you. Sorry, I just saw that one comment. I was like, that's interesting.
Her capstone is Missile Command, which increases the offensive missile silo reticles by 2. We'll need an 8 level university in order to begin researching that, so we can look at what the level 7.
Now, what was
Space
the
Age.
reasoning, not just behind choosing Sally Ride as a university leader, but also the reasoning behind her abilities and what she provides? So, what thought process went into that?
So Sally Ride particularly was born out of we have a lot of focus on factory troops in terms of our balancing, and in terms of we want to encourage players to invest in that, but we didn't have a university leader that focused on them specifically. Similarly to how Amelia Earhart is this big if you want to be really good at your airstrip, you invest in Amelia. We needed one like that for factory because we've heard that a lot of people like using factory troops, but sometimes they felt underwhelming or they felt underrepresented in other parts of the game. So we really wanted a factory-focused university leader, and through a lot of different research, as well as, figuring out who we wanted to represent this, getting into exploration of space and getting into, a lot of the scientific advancements that would match that kind of era, we thought Sally Ride was one of the best choices that we had. And a lot of these we've been waiting around for a long time to do, and we thought coinciding Space Age with Sally Ride, this super influential figure in NASA and in space exploration, particularly for all the women on the team, and we have a lot of women on the game development team on Dom actually. So we all were like, this is a character we want to make sure gets represented. Some people may not have heard of her. Some people may not know how much she did for science and did for space exploration even after she came back. We thought this was a really great chance to explore something in history and really cool mechanics to pair with it. So we chose Sally Ride.
Very cool. I see a lot of compliments on the art. Someone in chat is asking what the word reticle means, which I think there's a language barrier thing. A reticle is just like it's something to assist with aiming. It's used in a lot of games. Targeting crosshairs. So
when you're looking in battle at your missile silo, it'll put a little target on the buildings that you are going to hit with it when you use it. So it's basically 2 extra missiles. Is essentially what her skill tree does. A couple other skills I want to highlight really quick, at least one of them, is there's her mid-tree skill that will spawn machine gunners whenever your heavy tanks are destroyed. So any heavy tank that you're using in battle, when it's destroyed, it will spawn machine gunners. So people who are focusing on heavy tank strategies, which I know there are a lot of you because I read the forums, like whenever that goes down, you're going to get extra machine gunners out of it. So it just encourages people to keep investing into those heavy tank trees. And it provides a new and interesting gameplay thing. Like, it's not just a flat buff to something, it is you spawn an extra unit on top of that, which is using some of that tech like for Gozen. It's the exact same tech, just doing something different. So we wanted to include that in some of our mainline stuff, and we think that will be something really interesting that you can do, combined with buffs to the assault rally, which we've also heard that people are really enjoying too, and there's been a lot of hot debates on, what's the difference between it and protect, and which one's better, how can I use it to best benefit my army. So having her focus on that, as well as spawn units where you may be able to affect them with the assault rally, we thought were really interesting combinations of things to include in a single skill tree.
Very cool. That's a lot of very useful information. Do you see her impacting the meta specifically, especially with the higher level players? Do you see Sally Ride really having a changing the way the game is played?
Yeah, I think, similarly to some of our other really high level university leaders,
yes,
they can really encourage you to kind of build your army and train your composition a certain way. And I think the people who have been investing into factory units, particularly lately, as we've tried to focus a little bit more on them, will be really heavily rewarded for going into Sally Ride, and I think it will just make this feel even better going into her. So I'm not sure it will change the meta. That's always super unpredictable.
Right.
You guys are going to get your hands on it, and in the first 30 minutes, you're going to have way more playtime than we will have ever gotten on it. So the strategies that you all come up with are going to be something crazy and that we've potentially never thought of before. So I think that people will really enjoy experimenting with her. The exact results of that, I'm not going to try and predict, because I think that's foolish.
You never know. Lots of questions about the coming soon university leader, which we get every time we stream.
Every single time.
Any info yet? You can say no. That's completely fine. I just figured I'd address it since I saw a handful pop up.
Nope.
No info.
This
okay.
time, yeah.
She's just wait with bated breath, guys. Yeah. You never know.
So
her art is great. I love it.
Yeah, we have her poster up in our kitchen area, and when we take photos for events or celebrations or whatever, we'll share some of our space age lunch party with you soon. But my phone now automatically tags her as a person because the art is so good that my phone believes that she's a real person. And so it grabs the frame and is like, oh, do you want to tag this person? And I was like, maybe.
Phil Pag, thanks for following us, and Bess Constantine, thank you for following us. Yeah, we appreciate all the follows, guys. We've got a lot of new followers on our Twitch channel. We're going to be using it all the time, so please follow us here, and you'll of course get notified when we go live with our next stream. We don't have a next stream to announce yet, but this one is not even half over yet, so we have lots of stuff to show off, and it's all very exciting. Why don't we, before we finish the patch notes,
okay,
because we're about to talk about the new airstrip. So why don't we do a quick giveaway? Now, unfortunately, this is for people in the continental United States only. But if you would like an opportunity to win one of these, we're going to do this for Facebook as well as Twitch. In the chat, all you have to do, you can win one of these DomiNations Space Age. This is sort of a crew, developer, and friends of developers only patch right now. We're going to use the hashtag Space Age.
Space Age, good.
Hashtag Space Age in the chat for an opportunity to win. We're going to let that run for about 1 minute. So if you would like an opportunity to win one of these DomiNations Space Age patches, please go ahead and use hashtag Space Age in the chat right now for a chance to win. Now, again, continental United States only. That's the first thing. And the second thing is make sure you check your inbox on Twitch, because that's how you're going to be contacted. So a lot of times when we've done these giveaways in the past, we've contacted the person, but they never check their Twitch inbox, and so they don't ever get to claim their prize. So within the next 24 hours, check your inbox, and we will contact you directly if you are one of the winners. And we really sincerely do appreciate you guys coming out here on a Thursday afternoon, or some of you are even in the middle of the night in your respective countries. So thank you for coming out and hanging out with us. Really, when we were loading up, someone was like, it's 1 a.m. where I am. I set my alarm for this. So thank you. That's wild and so cool. And we love that you love the game. While people are talking, I did something kind of crazy. So when I first started working on DomiNations, I played the heck out of it. But you guys were kind enough to just like give me everything. You just gave me crowns, and this way I could experience the game. And I got really, really high up there. And in December, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have my account deleted and start over fresh with no bonuses from the studio or the publisher. I'm just going to play. So I've been playing every single day since December 1st. I'm in a secret guild. They don't know who I am. It's wonderful. So I'm just playing the game and enjoying it as a player, and really kind of experiencing it from the ground view, which I really, really like. So it's been very, very fun, and I love kind of experiencing all the ups and downs of it with all you guys by my side, which has been really fun. All right, so we're going to stop this first giveaway. Then we're going to go back to the patch notes. So again, thank you. Closing these for now, and we're going to jump back to patch notes for a minute.
You look great on your flight suit.
Yeah.
All right, so second airstrip, museum improvements, balance changes. Cool, that's a good list.
It is. So second airstrip. We saw a lot of people very excited about this.
Right.
What can you tell us about second airstrip?
It's like the first airstrip, but a second one.
But a second
Two
one.
of them.
Yes.
Well, there's 2 of them now. Actually, I can tell you a little bit about the second airstrip. There's 2 of them now, so that's awesome. That's your first little hint for today. But the cool thing about it is having a second airstrip will increase your pop cap by at least 8 if you have Amelia. So your pop cap increases to 8 with the Amelia research tree, which allows you to get a better range of planes or adjust your strategy with your planes, because you can take more of them now into battle with you.
What is a pop cap, for those that might not know? A pop cap is...
Oh, a pop cap is... what is the best way to kind of explain
It's
that?
how many you can bring into battle.
How many you can bring
your
into
max
battle.
capacity,
And
basically.
and some planes take like 4 pop cap or 2 pop cap. So if your pop cap increases to 8 and each plane costs like 2 pop cap, then you can do the math for that, right? But so for example, you could bring more bombers into the battle with you, and everyone loves bombers, right? So it would really change just a lot of things about the way you use planes if you especially love to use planes.
So our current air capacity right now is at 4, and when we speed this up, it's working on speeding up.
Yep.
Sorry, we're still again, this build is not released yet,
Yeah.
so we're working on a brand new build, and it'll be ready for you soon, next week.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. And this is not a public build yet, so all this stuff is super new, which is great. Jago12345, thank you for following us.
There we go.
All right, there she blows.
All right, so now our total air capacity pop cap is up to 5. Awesome. When initially was 4 with this first airstrip with this base that we had. The thing that you'll notice is it can only train strike fighters. So you'll need to upgrade the building in order to produce bombers and then to produce transports. It functions very similar to the second factory. Thank you. That's the word. I was like, functions similar to the second airstrip. Because it is the second.
It is the second.
We're all tired here.
Its
I
function
promise we're all tired.
is similar to itself. That's the important
It's recursive, yes,
Miss
exactly.
Rock, thank you for the follow. We appreciate it. We see you. Thank you so much for the second airstrip. Now, are you guys worried at all about... I always ask this question, but are you worried about the impact of adding a second airstrip and what it's going to do to the game? Like, are you at all apprehensive of what this could mean?
Well, our designers take a lot of care into balance testing, and they did have a lot of balance tweaks and such with the second airstrip being released. We have good faith and hope that this isn't going to be some game-breaking, super OP thing that happens. But of course, once the players get it in their hands and we see how it's used, we'll move forward from there. But every time we release something like this, especially with the second airstrip, there was a lot of intensive balancing and adjustment to make sure that we weren't, basically handing the hand of God over to these players.
And I think it's important to mention here too, like, I wouldn't say apprehensive is the right word. Like, excited and interested is the right word, but we actually got into a point where this theoretically could have gone out in an earlier release, and we made the conscious decision to make sure that we had more balancing time. Designers weren't exactly sure that they had it locked down right. We had a couple bugs that we could fix with it just to make it even better. So rather than putting it in earlier, we decided to delay it in order to make sure it was the best experience for players and had, the most close to the impact that we were going for when it actually did hit live servers. So we are, say at this point, are very confident that it is in the place that we hope it is. But again, players, you guys will come up with some crazy stuff. So we'll be looking really closely at the numbers when you guys go live and be looking from there. But I think, Joe, you can talk about that more than I can.
Yeah.
This also ties into some of the balance changes that are going to take place with this release. It's particularly focused on planes, both offensively and defensively, for things like the your air defense and SAM batteries and things like that. So we can jump ahead and talk about that, and we'll get back to the museum in a moment.
Let's do it. So we have more second airstrip stuff. Then we'll talk about museum, and then some balance changes. And then just for a heads up, we will take a short break just so we can hydrate. And then we are going to come back, and we have lots and lots and lots of other fun stuff to show off and to talk about. So,
That's right.
So hang in there. And we'll do a couple more giveaways too.
Yeah, Joe's joined us now, so we'll be able to release the level cap for the new age, and we'll be able to talk about some new and exciting stuff then too. So the balance changes for the airstrip are going to be as follows. I think they're on the sheet there that you have.
Oh, here, you can have my cheat sheet.
Thank you. Cheat
Filled with
sheet.
information. I can actually.
I have them in my brain, but I don't want to misquote it, so that's why it's in the brain. I mean, on the sheet. Ha! Did it.
We had questions about the specific planes that are being added.
Yes.
Do you want to talk? Do we have any info about those that we can share just yet? We have some cool art we can show here while we're kind of poking through it.
Well,
So we have the A10, right? And we have info on the fighter too. If we want to talk about that.
Sure, if you want. We need to actually upgrade. One of those, I believe, is the assault helicopter, right? So we'd have to upgrade our armory to take a look at that. So our armory now is level 10. Bum, 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 bum. Attack helicopter. We need to... Alright, there's the entry-level attack helicopter. Oh. Alright, we'll have to get to that after the break.
Yeah, no
Sorry.
worries. We can pull it up later.
Okay. Some of the
This is a
balance
live
changes,
show, folks.
Pardon me. Some of the balance changes, I found them here, and I wanted to get back to that.
There we go.
So-
Balance stuff.
All right, cool. The SAM battery is going to deal more damage at level 4 and above. You'll do more damage with your atomic and Cold War level air defenses. Fighters will be slightly weaker all around, hit points, damage, building suppression, and bombers will be able to go on more runs and able to sustain more hits, but do slightly less damage. So some of these balance changes that you'll be able to read in the full patch notes when we release them later, you'll be able to understand why we needed to make some of these changes if you're able to take so many more planes into battle.
And when can we say when people can look for the patch notes?
Sure, we can post them tomorrow?
Yeah, we're gonna put them up
Yeah, we'll
tomorrow.
put them up
So you'll
tomorrow.
see the full patch notes with basically everything we're talking about in more detail. It'll be up on Facebook as well as the forums, and we'll put a link on Twitter as well. So you'll be able to see the full patch notes tomorrow in all of their glory, if that's your sort of thing. If
Yeah.
you want to kind of get down and dirty and see everything. So
Dive back into that. So cool. And of course, we've been showing you the real quick clip of the patch notes here on the screen. There's going to be several bullet points underneath that, so you can read into all the details and cover everything. A lot of the things we've been talking about here on this stream.
very cool.
So cool. I think the last thing that we're going to get to then is some of the museum quality of life stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about museum stuff.
Okay.
I love the way you laid out your museum with the fruit trees right there. That's really nice.
So yeah, I think Jazz did that. Jazz, you set the space up for us, right?
Oh yeah, that's my base.
Nice.
He wins. 10 points to Jazz.
That is very cute.
It's very classy.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So okay, we have the World War Hall. Yes, thank you.
Wow, what a mustache is what I'm seeing.
Thank you. I made
Yeah.
it myself.
Every
Yeah.
time.
And wait till you see Joe.
Yeah.
All right, so a couple things with this. We're going to get an extra third legendary slot. So if you have a third legendary artifact, you'll be able to place that in your main hall. And there's a really great quality of life improvement that we made. So if we craft some new artifacts, you'll be able to see them right away. And here they go. All right, so number one, color. Yay, color. These colors that appear have to do with the inherent bonuses that each item has. So if it's got the small bonus, the +1s, then it'll be listed as white benefits. If it's got a medium bonus, which is the +3 for the World War and a +6 for the main hull, it'll be green, and it'll be that blue color that says the wall sapper damage there, if you can see that. That'll be for your largest bonus. That's the +6 in the World War and +11 in the main hull. These colors are going to stay constant throughout the life of the artifact, so that way even when you level it up or when you put new ranks into it, the colors will stay the same. But at a glance, it should help you determine what's good from this and whether or not you want to keep it as well. So cool. This one's this Georg Luger's pistol is green, so it's middle of the road. So yeah, so maybe we would want to keep that.
See lots of positive comments. Says yes, instant sell, more visualized, thank you, and a nice. So
Right, exactly.
We're thankful that you're thankful. Thank you guys. A lot of work goes into these quality of life changes, so we appreciate that you appreciate it.
Right. And that goes hand in hand with the feedback that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
You guys play the game, you send us screenshots, or you talk about like, hey, it'd be great if we'd be able to do this right away, to sell this right away, because I've already got something for that slot.
Yeah.
So we'll get rid of that, and we'll be able to, as opposed to diving back in. That should hopefully reduce as well, like accidental selling. If you just hit that sell button and just bum tag a bunch of stuff, and now you'll be able to determine whether or not you'll say, oh, this has got +1 heavy infantry. We can go right away. So cool.
Yeah. A little secret too. I usually mention this on the streams, but one of the things I do every week is I go through all the comments on the social channels and kind of aggregate them, throw them all together, and then show them to a bunch of people just to kind of get a feel for what the community likes and doesn't like, and sort of like how they feel about the game. And I share that out every week. And I also, your suggestions and things like that, I share all the time. So it definitely, like, even though I may not reply to you individually, it definitely does not fall on deaf ears. And, all of that is scooped up and looked at by the bigger team. So, keep those comments coming, positive, negative. Constructive criticism is always the best kind. But yes. So thank you.
So yeah, so those are some of the museum upgrades that you'd expect to see in the next update, and that'll be, of course, for all ages. So even if you're if you're not on the cusp of moving into the space age, that's fine. You'll be able to benefit from these things as well during the next update.
Awesome. So let's that's pretty much it for the patch notes for now. But when we come back, we're going to show off more of this stuff. Before we take a quick little break, we'll do a quick plug for our social channels, and also do one more quick giveaway. So let's go ahead and turn this off and turn these back on. We'll do this one more time, and then we'll do a little quick giveaway, and then we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to Joe about some some in-depth details about some stuff that's coming up to the game. We'll talk a little bit more about Space Age. We're going to show off some fun stuff in our community corner, where we highlight some of the things that you guys have been up to, which is one of my favorite things to do. So thanks to everyone who contributed to that. And we're going to look at a lot of your base submissions. So a lot of you submitted your names and your alliance names, and we're going to take a look at some of the things that you have made live on the stream. So that's during the second hour after our break. So very quickly, if you're not following us on Twitter, please do so. There's a link here on Twitch, and if you're on Facebook, you can just go to Twitter/Play DomiNations or @Play DomiNations on Twitter. Please give us a follow there. We have a pretty cool Twitter community, people posting every day. Facebook, there's a lot of people on Facebook. It's been growing a lot, which I love, and people are posting all the time. So we do screenshot Saturdays there. We do base submissions. We do lots of votes and polls and fun things. So if you love DomiNations and you love talking to people about DomiNations, about things that you love and things that you don't love, head on over to our Facebook page and join us there and become part of our community there. That's fun. We also have our blog, which is nexonm.com/blog, and we do historical blogs on usually content that ties in with whatever's going on in the game. So we recently put one up about objects in space, which is about some of the crazy things that have been launched into orbit, from satellites to monkeys and dogs. Yeah. I saw a post, somebody posted like, oh, there he is talking about dogs in space when you should be talking about this. And I'm like, oh, come on, dogs in space is fun. So anyway.
It is a really fun story, because the two that come back, one of them has a little puppy, and it winds up like going to the White House and being given as a gift to the president.
Yeah.
And he calls them pupniks because it's hilarious.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Nikita Khrushchev gave one of the puppies to John F. Kennedy, and those two puppies had puppies together. And so you have this like royal legacy of astronaut dogs that are like bred with president, dogs during the Cold War. It's just a wild story. Encourage you guys to go over to the blog and check that out. It's a quick read, maybe 5 minutes. And if you like history at all, I think you'll like it. And of course, we have our forums. Tin updates those every single day with information about ongoing events and sales, and also helps promote community stuff, which is really, really great on our forum. So head on over there. Okay, so before we take our quick break, we're going to do another one of these. I'll go ahead and put this on big cam for a sec. There we go. Put it over my face. Nobody wants to see that. Okay.
Like Mike was asking.
There we go. Yeah, put it right there. So we are giving away a handful of these, and these are developer and friends of developer only DomiNations patches, continental United States only right now. All you have to do in the chat, and this is on Facebook Live and on Twitch TV, is do hashtag SpaceAge to enter to win. We're going to do a handful of these throughout the rest of the stream. So if you want to win one of these, they're pretty cool. They're cloth. They're like real deal patches. They'll look great on your flight suit or whatever other thing that you wear.
Right.
Actually, I'm going to probably put one here because I think
there. You can put it on your hat. You can put it. Yeah.
It'll look super cool.
Yeah,
so anyway, we'll let that cruise for a minute. SpaceAge in chat, and then we're going to go ahead after this rolls for a minute. We're going to take a quick break and come back with all sorts of new stuff, including Community Corner and some hot topics that are going to be discussed. So you guys will like that a bit.
And that level requirement for SpaceAge.
And the level requirement, yeah. So we're going to reveal the level requirement for SpaceAge when we come back. 1,012.
1,000.
Just, I would love to see if we really announce that. Just like have cams on everyone. Like, what?
Send us your reaction videos.
Yeah, send us your reaction videos when we say 1,000. All right. So I see lots of entries. Thank you guys for entering. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our countdown timer going here. I'm going to set it for 5 minutes. And we are going to go ahead and do a quick break. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk with you guys more about some more fun stuff. So hang in there. Go grab some water, grab a snack, and we'll be right back. Oddity2590, thank you for the follow. And we'll see you in 5. remember to unmute the microphone this time. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hi again.
We have our beverages. We have a new guest. Why don't you introduce yourself, sir?
Hi, I'm Joe Grubb. I'm lead designer for DomiNations. Some of you I've been talking to on the forums a lot.
Welcome
here to-
back. Welcome
yeah,
back.
Here to answer a few more questions.
Awesome. So what we're going to do with this first chunk is we're going to show off some of this new stuff in action, address some questions that have popped up on various social sites, and just really kind of hang out and kind of get into the weeds a little bit with some of the technical stuff. And we'll do community corner where we look at some of the things that you guys have been creating. We always encourage you guys to submit things on our social channels. Please, if you're making stuff, share it with us so we can share it with the larger community, and we would very much appreciate that. And we will do more giveaways, not right now, so don't start spamming chat right now, but we'll do more in a little bit. So, what do you want to start with?
Let's go to battle. Let's make sure we've got a good loadout first. Do you have any? What's in your loadout? What do you take usually to battle?
You tell us the secrets.
What's the secrets? So one of the secrets that's come up a lot with Assault Rally recently has been using your heavy RPGs with it. We are taking a look at that. So we'll get into more info on that later. But definitely stacking your RPGs with your Assault Rally is not a bad idea. Being able to pair your heavy tanks with machine gunners. If you don't have your big red button yet, you need your big red button. You have your big red button?
I do.
All right.
And we also have the reticle from our space shuttle, so we'll be able to deploy that and look for the traps and stuff like that.
So we'll have the double.
So yes.
And we researched Sally Ride, so we'll get 3 missiles.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Right? We
The
finished
triple.
the capstone,
Yes,
right?
we finished the capstone, and I took the library research as well. So we should be in good shape.
Just to address this real quick, we're not going to talk too much about matchmaking today, but we can say that stuff is being looked at. So that's all we're really going to say today. I see the questions for Joe. Joe, what about matchmaking? Stuff's being worked on. We promise we'll have more information in the very near future. I think it's cool stuff that you guys will like. So that's all we can say right now. So I'm going to get him out of the hot seat. I will step into the hot seat and say the stuff is in the works, and that's all I can say for now.
Cool. I'm just going to poke around one or two more things. We can look at we can call out this quality of life improvement, the upgrade from inside your barracks, which is really nice. That way you don't have to poke around going back and forth of like, all right, what do I have in my army? What do I need to upgrade here? You're like, no, I actually really want this guy to be, let's bump the heavy supply convoy. Boom. Oh, well, we need to build a mill. All right, let's see if we can take a look at some of this stuff. We have our missile silo there. We have 2 rallies, so let's do that.
I'm going to do it. Is anyone else experiencing crown envy?
All right, so what do we target?
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
All right, so it'll take out some oil stuff over there, so we'll be able to watch that hit and then do some splash damage. All right, looks like it'll take out this bunker down there, so that'll be cool.
Coliseum.
The Coliseum, so that'll be good for
Airstrip.
defenders, yeah. So cool. Maybe we'll see what happens if we do... So we cannot lead with that because it needs a 10-second countdown, so battle start before we can use that. So we'll say, we've got these guys in our thing, so we'll start these guys down here. And then we will...
Hit the big red button.
I'm really glad you're
And then
driving.
you want to hit it?
Oh, yeah.
Do it, Joe, do it!
Oh,
Here it
big
goes.
red- Oh, nice.
All the way
Alright,
across.
Got him.
Cool.
Took out the whole bunker.
Took out the whole
Very
bunker.
nice.
All right, so before we drop too many guys, let's do the satellites as well. If that'll... Again, this is an early build, so I don't know if... let's see what's out of
There we go.
Oh, you got some of them.
Okay, cool. Nice. All right, so now we actually have to deploy some troops. So pardon me. Here we go.
So it not only revealed the traps, but it also disabled them. So, you can kind of read your opponent's base layout, see where likely places for traps, and then use that tactic to punch through that line.
Yeah.
I see. Small radius, not too OP.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we went back and forth a lot on the radius for satellites. The initial version, it would do about 1/4 of someone's base layout. It was a little strong. Ended up pulling back on that quite
But
a
it
bit.
also didn't disable the traps back then, did it?
Yeah, the very first iteration was only revealing.
Let's send in some of these guys.
So with Assault Rally, I know there's lots of questions in the community regarding Assault Rally. What have some of the challenges been during its implementation? Because it's sort of a game changer.
Yeah, one of the original goals with Assault Rally really didn't come from the stat modifications it was doing. It came more from the fact of DomiNations is an RTS, and being able to control your units in the middle of battle is really part of the appeal. Having access to just the standard rally in the game kind of give you those limited moments of being able to redirect your troops. And so the initial question was like, hey, what if we can give you a more targeted redirect so you can min-max your troop orders in the middle of battle. And it evolved from there of like, okay, well, can we give a stat bonus to them if we want to send these group of troops to the specific building, but leave the rest of the troops that we've identified to go take out defensive buildings elsewhere. We need a way for those troops to be able to execute on the command you gave them, and not just the small group dispatch over the side and die. So a good amount went into then balancing, figuring out what we wanted those stat modifications to be. There's definitely been some conversations about the defensive power of Assault Rally, and we've been studying data on that a lot, and looking at the how it's being used, both that and the performance level of it. So when you are bringing Assault Rallies, what's your destruction range like? And from a performance perspective, Assault Rally is actually not an outlier in terms of how well it's doing in destruction rate. But
so it's not tipping the scales or anything. It's performing actually sort of as you guys are expecting.
But that said, players are completely just shifting to it strategically. It is a lot of fun to use, but we didn't want to completely overshadow Protect with it, for example. So you can expect some balance changes coming, not in 7.0 here with Space Age, but in a future release. We wanted to let Space Age hit first. There's obviously a lot of combat modifications in Space Age, so we sort of want to see what plays out with that before we then make additional changes to Assault Rally. But most of them will be in the vein of how do we make those meaningful decisions for players of should I bring Protect, should I bring Assault Rally, should I bring something else in terms of my war tactics. And so look for changes, but not necessarily nerfs. They are more likely to come in the area of shifting its power points into different areas and away from damage mitigation.
See, that's why we love having you on this, because that answer, mine would have been like, yeah, it's really cool. Yours is a little bit more specific, which I love. Well, that's super exciting. Do you want to reveal the number?
Yeah.
Are we at the point?
Yeah. So
someone in the chat said they're going to bring out a big poster that says it. They're like, we don't have anything fancy.
I got a Sharpie in the back of this piece of paper. If you need us to go, we'll do it live.
Yeah, we'll do it.
We've got a few close ones there. I see come up. So the level you need to be at, soon is going to be 246. So if you're not there yet, you've got a little bit of time, not a lot. Try to get your level up and be ready for Space Age.
Yeah, 246 it is. So this is literally the first time it's been announced.
Yeah.
So there you go. You here in Facebook Live and on Twitch are the first. I don't even think we put out a press release about it, and we didn't even say it in the press release. So,
right.
It is. You guys are the first, so that's pretty exciting. Thank you for tuning in. So now you can go ahead and tell your respective communities and tell all your alliances and all your pals what the level is. So 246 is going to be the level, which is pretty cool.
It was high as guesses were as high as 280.
I saw a 300.
A 300.
I saw a 300. Yeah.
Oh,
that would have been steep.
Yeah, that would have been steep. Yeah. There's going to be a lot more game beyond the Space Age. This is not the end of DomiNations.
Yes, it is not. That's something also we should kind of talk about.
Yeah.
We're not revealing anything yet, obviously, but it's not the end.
Right.
There's other cool stuff that is coming. So
I don't know.
Organification. Thanks for the follow.
Maybe
I
we'll
don't
do it
know if we
very
can. Yeah, that's why I didn't say anything, because I was
Right.
like, when there's stuff we could. Anyway, we'll stay in the safe zone for now.
Right. For those of you that are fans of history, know that the Space Age might cover around the 1960s, and I mean things happened between then and now, so there's definitely going to be
there's more to come.
Yeah.
We could show the preview in the town center, maybe.
It's there.
Maybe we'll hold that off to the end of the stream.
All right,
We'll ask the powers that be. We don't want to.
But yeah, but as you know, currently right now, if you tap your Cold War, town center, you'll be able to see the preview for the space age. So the same thing happens here. If you tap this town center, you'll be able to see the next age, sort of a hint or a tease of what that might be. So,
we got a question. We get this a lot on the social channels as well. Are you going to add new events to reduce build time? I don't know anything about events, but I know as someone who's been playing, like I have been loving the speed ups. They're like perfect. Like right before I go to bed, I'll just like queue something up, and the speed ups really help me get to where I want to be before I let something build.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys are enjoying them. I feel like they're given away pretty readily, especially during special events. So hopefully you guys are enjoying them.
Which one is this? The VLA that gives them out now?
yes.
Yeah, one of the Wonders gives out speed ups too. So that you should probably build a very large array if you like speed ups.
Yes, very large array gives speed ups now too, which is cool.
Right.
Future, I'm seeing all these guesses for the ages. Future age, information age,
Future age.
computing age, alien age is what
That one may be a while.
the alien age. When you guys are just like, whatever. Alien age. Quantic age. These are wonderful guesses. Keb's Empire followed us. Oh, one fun thing we can do at the end, even though we're not going to show it off, is we can still have them guess about April Fools.
Oh yeah,
we can't show off what's being done, but it was fun last year to have you guys guess. So
yeah, there were some fun suggestions that went to the hopper for that one. So
let me go through some of these community questions that we got.
Sure.
Let's see. We got the level requirements. Do you want to talk about glory decay at all? Is that something we can talk about?
We've not yet. So I can talk about that some. We have run it once, and that first run was pretty successful. We gave a little bit of warning because we didn't just want to hit everyone with it. We want to give alliances time to go and war if you actually wanted to maintain your spot on the leaderboard. And then followed through. That is not an automatic operation. It is manual, and the reason for that is primarily so it's not on a predicted time scale. We try to be pretty loose with it. It does look back pretty far. It gives you a couple weeks buffer when we do run it. So it's something we're kind of holding in our pocket. If leaderboards become stagnant, then we will act on them. While we're not talking too much because there's not much more to talk about right now with matchmaking, the big note there is that when we do roll out the new matchmaking system, there will be another decay that occurs that will actually apply to all alliances, not just the inactive ones. And the goal for that one more is to get everyone back down to a normal distribution around the MMR range that we want alliances to be paired with each other against. But the general note for there is your position on the leaderboard shouldn't change because it is hitting everyone in a relative similar fashion. It's more of you can think of that more as like a big number crunch to bring everyone in unison back down to something that's a little more reasonable for the new system to use.
Very cool. That's good information. Thanks. Were we going to talk more about the wall? We talked about walls.
Oh, yeah.
Can we talk about that yet?
Yeah, no, we can talk about that. We also didn't mention it, but we also are giving new wall additions for the space age, and kind of all across all of the ages. But with this update, there will be more walls that people can use. And it'll be scaling up as you age up. So Bronze Age is going to have 3 new walls. Then moving up into Iron is going to have 4, kind of moving up exponentially to, at the very end where people are at in Cold War right now, you were able to get 140 if you had all of the research for the Middle Age library tech being done, Medieval Age. And then you'll be going up from 140 to 154, so 14 additional wall segments. And then the new wall level for Space Age is going to be 161.
That's a lot of walls.
It's a lot of walls.
A lot of walls.
Yeah, a lot of interesting possibilities for base design.
Hey, we are going to look at some of your bases here in a minute too. So a lot of you guys have been submitting your bases on our social channels and during Screenshot Saturday as well, which is always awesome to see. You guys have given me many tips over the years with your submissions, so I appreciate it, and I know the rest of the community does too. So we'll look at, I think we have like a good 15-20 different bases to look at in the coming segment. So if you want to see how the rest of the community builds, I think you will like that segment. Maze design, new meta, LOL. I would love to see some mazes.
Well, that's what Kristen was saying earlier, is that she thinks about it sort of an old school tower design challenge of where do you put your towers and how do you set up your defenses so that way when the players come in, do you want to route them towards something? Do you think that they'll head first to be blocked by the wall, or are you going to put a trap in an opening so that way they are more likely to tunnel through that way and then get hit by the barbed wire or things like that. So tower defense is maybe not too far off.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of validity to that. There's a lot of strategy, of course, in base construction, and you see a lot of really different strategies in how where people place their towers and defenses and traps and facing off. Like, I skip all the bases that I'm like, oh, this guy's a genius. Look what he built. I can't even parse like what exactly this is. There's like this crazy zigzag. I'm like, I don't even want to deal with it.
Right.
Pass that, please. Question regarding houses. Is there going to be an additional house for citizens with Space Age?
I don't believe so.
No.
We're hearing no. Okay. And that yeah, right now no. So I saw that question pop up a few times. So there's your answer right now. It is no. And let's see, someone's asking, is there no upgrade for heavy tanks?
Did I already do it?
We may have already done it.
Sorry. I've been sort of like quietly in the background, just plugging through some of the upgrades.
Yeah.
So that way you in the stream, if you're watching, I know people like to really look at like what the stats are. So I've been doing it kind of quick. You'll be able to watch this because it gets saved for a little while, and then we'll save it out and put it on YouTube and things like that. So that's why I wanted to at least get a chance for you to look at like, what's the stat bonus is the armored car upgrade and things like that. So yeah, so I'm trying to just share that with the community as well as we talk about other things.
Very cool. Why don't we, while we're kind of fielding questions and running through this, why don't we do a couple more attacks once you're done doing your upgrades and stuff?
Yeah.
And show off some of this stuff in action, because we haven't really showed too much of it. I want to see more big red button in action myself. Because it's cool. I want to see you guys make like a BRB shirt with just like a button on it. Like,
BRB big red button. Oh, that's
Got
cute.
it. Yeah, that is cute.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go start. Just followed. Thank you for the follow. And lots of folks were following while we were talking, so we do appreciate that. That's awesome. I see lots of familiar names when we do these, and it's super cool to see the same people coming back. And I know we haven't done one in a couple months due to travels and Space Age being built. so it's cool to be back and see familiar names.
And Space Age is the development of an age doesn't happen just between one release and the next update. Space Age is something that gets planned like way in advance. We start building units, and the art team has to come up with buildings. It needs to go through rounds of design and rounds of playtesting just to make sure it's fun and it's functional all the way through, and it reads clearly, and the buildings look even better than they did in the previous age. So it's not something that we can just sort of hustle through. It takes a lot of time and a lot of really talented people here at the studio to make this happen.
Yeah, that process started actually right after we released Cold War Age. The second that was out the door, Art was already moving on to start working on Space Age stuff. And like you were mentioning, Greg, like it's not just that they look better from one level to the next one, but they also have to look cohesive as a whole base. Like you're going to look at all these buildings not as, a single building in a vacuum. It's going to be on your base in like a big zoomed out way that we need to make sure it looks cohesive, looks evocative of the age, it reads well enough so that way when you're looking at stuff for attacks you don't get confused between buildings. It's a really intense process.
And design gets really far ahead. I mean, and we're launching Space Age now, and we're already looking and have design work that has been completed in a lot of cases for the next 2 ages, even beyond Space Age. So we're able to go really far in advance and help feed the machine that is Art, that's able to crank this stuff out so quickly.
Our art team and our design team are all the best.
Very cool. I love that you guys plan that far ahead.
Cool.
And,
we can hit the barracks. We can hit the sniper tower, which actually is probably going to be the best for us.
Is that a tank depot?
Is which tank depot?
Down the bottom one.
The bottom one.
Is that a tank depot?
No, that is the storehouse.
I misread.
Yeah.
Got the storehouse. So sometimes you won't hit great targets with your missile silo, and that was kind of the point. That's one thing that I was very adamant about in the design of the missile silo, is that a lot of times you kind of have your strategy in DomiNations, and you've min-maxed it and you've repeated it ad nauseum, And every single fight, you're going to just try to execute that strategy. And the missile silo kind of throws a wrench in that. Sometimes it's going to hit the storehouse, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not really changing my strategy up much. But sometimes it may hit one of those key buildings that you had sort of built your army around. And so now you're changing, as you go into this fight, what you may have been trying to do at the beginning. Every now and then, maybe it'll hit their missile silo, and that can be a game changer for that fight. But you're not guaranteed it every battle, and that's where a lot of the fun of this building comes from. Not just the first time you use it, but the 100th time you use it and beyond.
Tedokas, thanks for the follow. Yeah, I said it before, but I really do love the random nature of the big red button. I think it's really, really cool because you could, like you said, get incredibly lucky and hit high value targets, or you could just hit something that is a little bit less valuable, like a storehouse. So, see, I'm looking through chat questions here while you guys are fighting. I see. Good to hear that Space Age is in the end. Yeah, Space Age is in the end.
It's only stealth on its first run. There we go. This is the Nighthawk.
New Nighthawk.
This is going to be an upcoming troop tactic as well. It's stealth on its first run, so it had that obfuscating cloud, and then it'll go through and do bombing runs as well.
Yeah, and by stealth, nothing can hit it on its first run. It won't trigger traps. Air defenses won't hit it. So it has a free attack on whatever you send it after. Just for its
so dangerous.
Just for its first run.
That is so dangerous.
Unlike the Night Witches that have stealth all the time.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic. I love the art on those too. Where's the question? Sorry, I saw a great question and then it scrolled up. I'll find it, I promise. Oh, will Space Age be able to attack Atomic Age?
Yes, the top age in DomiNations is able to attack 2 ages down. So some of you might have noticed recently, or we talked about it in the forums and some other places, that Cold War age bases were not able to find global age bases when you were searching. That's some of the groundwork that we laid in order to release Space Age very, very soon. So top age will be able to attack 2 ages down. And since we're making the shift from Cold War to Space Age, it'll change who the sort of floor for that is.
And that will generally be true moving forward, unless we have a reason to deviate from it. That's something that you ought to be able to expect, that the top age, because attacking is always +1, -1 of your current age. When you're at the top of that chain, you can't go above you anymore. So we allow you to attack 2 down, so that you can still find opponents to interact with.
And there are also the sort of benefit of the doubt mechanics that we do also give you. Like if you were now at Space Age and you match with a Cold War Age base, you are still going to get museum benefits as if you had attacked a Space Age base for amount of fragments you're going to get, just because the pool of Tapas people is going to be smaller innately. So we didn't want to punish people who maybe couldn't find their exact match in the pool and instead just give them the benefit of the doubt when attacking to the next lowest one.
Very good answers. A couple questions from chat.
Yep.
At what age is that second airstrip available?
Oh, we're not talking about Atomic Age.
Okay.
No, we didn't talk about that yet.
Well, now we have.
Awesome. There you go.
I saw on our forums there was a little bit of concern for Atomic Age players. What are they getting offensively? And they're definitely getting the second airstrip. There was a lot of work that went into that from the balance side. Also, if we're introducing a second airstrip, you can build this new building, increase your air pop cap. What do we do around balance? So we've done some to increase air defense balances, but we also like to have some of those peaks and valleys in terms of your strength. So as an Atomic Age player, you should see your attack power increasing alongside the airstrip. It is absolutely not an even bump up in terms of power. Over time, as you go into Cold War and certainly Space Age, the power does sort of even out again, but you will notice an offensive boost as an Atomic Age player. Awesome.
Yeah, and I see a lot of really specific questions. We will have, like we said, we'll have the patch notes available tomorrow with a lot more information and some fun stuff for you guys as well. So take a moment, and then tomorrow you'll be able to check it out. Tomorrow morning, probably pretty early, we'll have it up on the forums and on Facebook, and also on Twitter. So keep an eye out there for all the patch notes in all of their glory. So.
One thing I wanted to call out with those couple of friendly challenges, we're doing a lot of talking, we're doing a lot of like very showy stuff, but between the first attack and the second attack, we had mostly a barracks composition and then mostly a more oil heavy composition the second time around, and it went from the mid 60s to the high 80s percent damage, and sort of just halfway having a conversation and halfway playing the game. So when you do get these factory units, they do really bump up your army. And they're sort of balanced a little more for the higher ages as well. So that's something to consider when you're building your loadouts and stuff like that.
And Sally Ride too.
And Sally Ride as well.
She
Yes,
helps a little.
A lot. Yeah, just a lot.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of reticles that showed up there as we fire that big red button off.
Can you check her out one more time for folks
Sure.
that didn't see her for the first hour? So we get
this-
the new university leader, Sally Ride.
Yeah, she's all the way at the end now because we completed her tree earlier.
So she grants an additional reticle for a big red button.
Yep, that's her capstone is missile command.
Yep, additional 2 on that one.
Yeah.
Then when combined with the library tech, you also get 1 from there, or is it 2 from library?
1.
That was 1 from the library.
I can't remember which version we settled on.
And we didn't call this out specifically, but she allows us to have this heavy tank spawns machine gunners. So when our heavy tanks are destroyed, it'll spawn machine gunners as well on your attack. So it's a good way to bolster your offense as well. But yeah, this whole tree through and through is a pretty solid addition to your army.
Here's a specific question. With the second airstrip increasing the total air capacity, will the bonus from Amelia's capstone increase to +2?
And no.
No.
It is still 1. It is you get 1 from her, one from the library, and then the 3 from each of the airstrips.
There you go. I'm trying. If I see good questions pop up in chat, I'm trying to address them. So feel free to fire away.
Have you talked about the full archaeology book on the museum yet?
Briefly.
Not yet. We can go into more detail
Let's
about
do
that.
it. Let's talk about it.
Just the one interesting note that I thought about, the library oftentimes is going to be percent modifiers, and or maybe you can add an additional building or something. But one thing I particularly liked about the archaeology book, which is one of the first ones we've done hitting the museum, is the last chapter there being that after you fully level up this archaeology book, there's now a chance when you're crafting in the museum to hit 3-star artifacts, something that you couldn't hit before. Originally we were talking about just, hey, let's just up the percentage that the artifacts can happen, but we really want it to be a payoff that you saw in the museum. So after you get this book trained and you see that 3-star artifact, you know it absolutely came from the fact that you've finished researching this library book. So that's if you're interested in the museum and like getting a jump start on artifacts as you craft them, that's definitely one to dive into.
I think that's also my favorite library icon in the whole game is that one. I think it's really good.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love all the art at the library. Question also in chat. Any new coalitions?
There are not new coalitions right now, but the the Unisphere Wonder now will actually make use of your coalitions. I don't know if you all went over that or not earlier when I wasn't here, but that one was exciting for me because it also gives you a choice as a player of which defensive coalition do you like. It's going to take your defensive coalition that you've leveled up the most, and will also be the first time that they can now show up in regular PvP battles.
Awesome. Someone's asking about the cost to upgrade to Space Age. So the actual.
I do not know that.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it. We'll let you know.
I may be able to find out.
We'll look for it for you. We were not prepared for that question.
It'll have to remain a mystery for a little while, yeah.
It's the answers with all the big numbers.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Not prepared.
Building upgrade cost. Oh god, let me read that number. 15,000 gold. Sorry, 15 million gold.
15 million.
15,500,000 gold.
Scrooge McDuck levels of gold.
Yep. And it's a 15-day upgrade time.
15-day upgrade.
You're dropping the bomb on the house.
So that's good, yeah. No, this seems better. Seems like some center-based stuff, especially with your planes there.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we could run with that. The other thing I wanted to do was show off these guys and the destruction of the Unisphere, so we'll try to see if we can take that out. Where's our generals too? Bum, 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 bum. There they are. Is that the Russian coalition with the tanks?
I believe so.
Yep, there they are on defense.
And there goes
there's the missile
unoffensive
silo. All right,
missile
so
silo. Let's break back with
Yeah.
our own missile silo.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, we can do that.
Oh,
We'll taking our stealth run there, straight down the middle, and we'll drop all our missiles all at the
just
same
dodging,
time. There we
dodging
go.
missiles.
go. Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yeah, that actually took out the air defense that was going to hit your transport as it came through.
Yeah.
I'm totally making
Oh,
it.
but he has all
Until
the
the
sand,
sand
all the sand
battery.
batteries.
Oh.
See, that would have been the trade-off if we had the space shuttle
space
tower.
shuttle
We could have
instead.
taken out those guys instead.
Yep.
You know
Yeah.
what'll totally turn the tide of battle are the poll winners, the Vikings.
Oh yeah, the Vikings.
They
Send them in, boys. Here they go. Get them.
were not expecting
That's
the
right.
scourge of Scandinavia.
Right for the gold, just like true Vikings.
There we go.
There you go, straight down there on the bottom. So, yeah.
I'm like, wait, where did these Vikings come from? I love it.
Let's put these guys. Let's distract them for a minute. Sorry, this is very disjointed now. I'm just playing around to
Oh,
show
it's
off
all
some,
good. I was
show off
just
some key
everywhere.
elements.
watching the chaos
Sorry.
unfold.
Yeah, no, it is. It's 100%. Oh yeah, we want to show these guys if they get destroyed, how they
really?
produce. Let's see. We can follow those guys for a little bit, unless it's a
Very cool.
They're a little
Yeah.
strong.
yeah.
Question: Can you crown Hannibal to level 70?
Yeah, all
yes.
of the generals are increasing. In
Okay.
So, yes.
Mason 8585, thank you for the follow. You're here just in time for the explosions.
Yeah, these guys are they're super beefy. We'd have to call them to the center if we're really
Maybe a bit.
focused on taking them out. See, I'm trying to do it and I can't. That was the ambush
I
trap
didn't get
there.
to see the fall of the Vikings. I wanted to see their
Oh, sorry.
their
Yeah,
glorious defeat.
oh,
They probably got hit by a
more excited about the
large
action.
explosion.
I think that was also something that we noticed during internal playtest too, is like with so much more air troop capacity, like you can bring way more planes and way more bombers and different loadouts, and it's just been a lot of fun to have like that much direct control over it. Like going to battle with that many planes, it was hard for some of us to actually go back to live where the planes were less PopCap and we're like, this is it's not as much fun. I'm used to having so many planes, so now when that goes live, we're pretty sure you guys aren't gonna ever want to go backwards.
That's the whole
There we
thing
go.
when
Boom!
you
There they go. Da-da-da.
Nice.
2 machine gunners hopping right out.
Thanks, Sally.
Cool.
That's very cool. Love it.
The rest of the battle is a wash, but we got to see that, so that was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clip it.
Yep.
Same as Night Witch, basically. A little different than Night Witch. Just the first run.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Yeah, just the first run. Also not a biplane.
There's a power difference in the bomber is a bomber.
Yeah,
So
also not a Ricky
that first
biplane.
run is going to do some damage.
The Night Witches used to throw railroad spikes and like whatever else they could find out of their planes. Seriously, they would just throw bricks or because they ran out of munitions, so they would just throw whatever they could find. Imagine being in World War II and getting hit in the head by a brick
It came from the sky.
that came
Yeah.
from the sky.
From a plane you can't hear
It's
because
amazing.
they turned off the engines.
Yeah, amazing. So yeah, if you haven't read about the history of the Night Witches, please do so. It's really cool.
I'm more excited just with the instant sell button right here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
nice.
that's going to be a great boon to everybody.
I'm a big fan of the like artifact color too, like in the names. Like it's really easy to
Oh,
see
yeah.
at a glance what is like really good and what's not. Particularly for players who I don't think want to invest a ton of time in the museum, but just want to get the benefits of it. It's a really nice at a glance. Okay, I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah. Like that, yeah, you get rid of
Very
all
cool.
white stuff. Yeah. Ta-da.
Cool. So I think we're gonna do, unless we want to do another run before we do community corner and
We
show off
can-
some community stuff.
Yeah, we can hop into the community stuff for
We'll
a
do the
bit.
community
Yeah.
stuff. All right. Well, Joe, you're off the hook, sir.
Off the hook. All right.
Thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
by.
thank
And,
you for having me.
Yeah, you can. Joe's on the forums and stuff all the time, so say hi to him there. And he's working hard on making the game awesome. So give him a high five through your screens, and he'll be back hopefully next time we do one of these. And thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Back to work you go.
Yeah, sneak out of here.
Work on Alien Age. I hope Alien Age becomes a thing.
Oh man. So one of the things that I wanted to call out real quick, because we were here doing the friendly challenges against this space age base, we snuck this in and we didn't really announce it sort of at large. There was a community war that we set up for Valentine's Day. We do community wars from time to time. We like to help out the effort where we can. Just like you guys do all the hard work of like finding people and making the teams, and we just like to do the handshake and make the two sides match up. But for the Valentine's Day war, we were able to add a couple of new custom emojis for chat. So if you do a left bracket, like this, and then say heart, all lowercase, you'll be able to see a heart show up. There you go. Ta-da!
There you go.
You can also use the word community as well, and you'll see a heart there as well.
These are secrets.
Secret hacks.
We should fib and say there are 40 of these hidden. Right. There's not 40 of them.
There's quite a few.
There
and treasure is the other new
treasure.
One. Yeah, treasure.
TYT for you. Thank you for the follow. We appreciate it.
TYT. That's not how you spell treasure.
Treasure.
There you go. So yeah. So go ahead and use those in your chats if you're curious, or if you need to express yourself with treasures or hearts. So cool, community corner.
Community corner. Let's go over there. So we do these during our streams, and it's sort of our way of showing off some of the cool things that are going on in the community. And I always ask if you guys have stuff that you are working on. If you do a regular, if you record YouTube videos, or if you do live streams. Honestly, whatever it is that you're working on, send it our way. You can find us, of course, on the forums or any of the social channels, and just link it to us and be like, this is what I'm doing. It's really cool. The first, really quick, before we get into some of the pictures people sent me, I want to give two quick shout-outs to DomiNations Tips on YouTube. If you guys go to DomiNations Tips on YouTube, DomiNations Tips does videos every single week. One of the things I do every week, and this is, again, sort of an inside baseball secret, I look at like tons of videos that are posted every single week on YouTube, and I gather up a handful of them, and then I send them off to the larger groups. I send them off to folks at Big Huge Games and to Nexon, and they check out your content. So if you are making content on YouTube, odds are I'm going to see it, and everyone else is going to see it too. So DomiNations Tips has been doing really great content on YouTube. I encourage you guys to check it all out. Really, really solid stuff. And Harris DomiNations as well on YouTube does some really great stuff. Now for the submissions, let's see if I can pull this up. I have a better one.
I was gonna say that those go wider than just the internal teams here. There's a post that we do weekly on the forums called Rally Point as well. So if you have a really neat tweet or a really interesting Reddit subreddit thread or things like that, so we link a lot of the stuff there for you guys to see each other's works and each other's like victories when you have a really great victory. So so that includes like all the YouTube stuff and all the that's really where you should. A lot of the great strategy will come out of those YouTube videos. And what we do here is we're playing around. We want to really show off a lot of the highlights and stuff like that. So deep strategy comes from you, the players, who know a lot about the game and are really clever and knowledgeable.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Sandbox has been doing great stuff for a really long time. A lot of you guys have already heard of Sandbox. They're doing another Draft Wars tournament. You, of course, can hit them up on Discord. They currently have over 2,000 members of their Discord community. They do events all the time. The link is here on the screen for you guys to check out. I'm not going to type it into the chat because I will Butterfingers it live. So I'm going to let you guys go ahead and just take a screenshot of that and head there. But definitely, go hang out with these guys and become part of the larger community. They're doing great stuff, and they continue to do so. And make sure that you sign up in time for Draft Wars 2. It's pretty cool. It's a new event coming up. We have Prime, DomiNations Prime. A lot of you guys have heard of DomiNations Prime. This is 2,000 plus members of Prime, which is a community inside of a community. Mm-hmm. They're doing great stuff all the time. And I think I still have a hotkey here. Let me see if I can do this real quick. This might be a link. If it works and doesn't explode. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a link there in chat if you're on Twitch. Sorry, Facebook Live. But you can go to this URL here on your screen now. So anyway, DomiNations Prime, if you want to be become part of something bigger and you want to hang out with like-minded DomiNations fans, definitely head over to DomiNations Prime. It is really, really awesome, run by a bunch of very kind, very cool people that do really, like, some of the most hardcore events that I've ever seen put on by the community. Very in-depth, very cool, and I encourage you guys to all join up and become a part of it. So that's some good stuff. I like that a lot. And last but definitely not least, I got sent the new graphic for this while we were out at lunch. I didn't get a chance to put it in. So this is the old graphic. So this is a live stream put on by Gail Hu and leader of the Hobbit Zombies, who I famously was part of until I got kicked out unceremoniously. Yeah, it was sad. I was really low. And they were like, who's this guy? Get him out of here. So I was kicked out of Hobbit Zombies, but I'm still plugging your live stream. This live stream is coming back in April, so it took a little brief hiatus, which happens, and it is coming back. So the information here on your screen, definitely go to the YouTube channel, check it out, subscribe. If you enjoy talking and hearing about DomiNations with some really cool, fun people, then head on over to the Gale Just Want to Have Fun live stream. They are really, really nice, really fun people too. And I do encourage you guys again, I'm going to go ahead and put our social channels up there one more time, just so you guys can check this out. These are the channels you can reach out to us and let us know that you have stuff that you want to promote. So you go to our Facebook page, go to our Twitter, and of course you can go to our forums and reply there and share your content. Honestly, I would love to promote your stuff on our social channels. All you got to do is reach out to me and let me know that you're doing something cool, and I will support you to the best of my ability. So I love content creators, and I love seeing what you do, and I look at it every week. So please, if you're making stuff, reach out and let us know, and we will gladly support what you do. I'm seeing chat is exploding, and I cannot keep up, so I will catch up later. I promise. So
what I was gonna say, one of those fun community things is happening tomorrow. The Titan War we're gonna kick off.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So out of the old series was called the Live Expert series, and they rolled that into a new series where experienced veteran players get to share their knowledge with new players, and this Titan War is a good way for the two to go side by side and watch each other's attacks and give advice on better layouts and better strategy and where to drop troops and stuff like that. So it's really exciting to see the community not only just sharing knowledge but developing over time as well. These really deep strategies and really deep connections. So very proud of all of you, and it's been delightful to watch from where we are.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
So before we close things out, we are going to do another patch giveaway before we get out of here. We'll do that at the very end. We want to look at some of the bases that you guys have submitted on our social channels. So one of the fun things we like to do is you guys submit your bases either on Screenshot Saturdays or on the base submission days, and we write all the names of your bases down, and we take a look at them. Let's look at one of the lower ones first.
Lower ones first.
Yeah, if there are any lower ones.
We got a lot of really engaged players that sent us.
Yeah. There's a 101. Let's look at the 101.
There's a 101. Okay.
All right.
Saint Dark Dragon. I think that's on the sheet as well. If we'll log in just a second.
Yeah, honestly, thank you guys so much for submitting these. We got hundreds of submissions this time. And we do like to look at them, so we just grabbed a handful.
This one, look at this! It's a whole figure S shape.
Yes.
So the Saint Dark Dragon, capital S to begin with. So So it's
this was pre-planned. This was something that he thought of.
Yeah, I wonder if this is a second base.
Oh, that has to be a second base.
Yeah.
Especially because this whole row here that we're looking at now didn't exist in the first launch. This was part of the Forest expansion pack. So you'd have to. And with the combination of this Forbidden City here, so you got to take that out, and the Town Center, especially when you first load the game. Like, we loaded this, and we're like, oh, that's it? That's going to be easy. We'll take this out super quick. And you're like, oh, no, actually, you need to go all the way up here.
This is specifically built for war, just to prevent the person from getting 5 stars just through the time it takes to slog from one end to the other.
Yeah.
So, very smart.
Yeah.
If I got this, I would cringe and be like, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool though. I mean, it's a strategy. You know, it is what it is.
So awesome. That's one of our suggestions we got. Let's go. Who else we got? Mighty Man 23. I think that was one of the new ones we added.
Yeah, let's check it out.
All right.
Ooh,
It's a
Nelly.
missile silo centered base.
Mm-hmm.
Got to defend that puppy, huh?
Yeah. So the announcement that we made, we didn't put it in the patch notes pop-up, but we did say it while we were sitting here, is the additional wall segments that you can add. So that's going to be really neat to see coming forward of like, would they put dividers in here in order to like stop you from moving from one half to the other half? Or would they just extend that and cover this square as well? Or do you do a third ring, or a fourth ring all the way out around your base? I think we're going to see some really neat design decisions there when that happens.
Your town center's way down in the corner.
Yeah, that's just to give up the stars and get the peace treaty for a little while.
Probably.
It'd be interesting to see if you get bases that couple this with the peace treaty and then with the resource additional generation from the new wonder.
The Lotus Temple, yeah.
Yeah, to see if you particularly couple this base layout with that resource generation bonus. So, but that'll be up to you when you're design, and it'll be super fun. All right, so
What else are we going to check out?
we will check out Galmar. It's also fun just to say that names. Just
yeah.
as everybody
Fumble
suggests
through
their
them.
Banes. Yeah.
Yeah. Red Dragoon. Red Dragoon, thank you for following us.
There's 2 G's too. It's Dragoon.
Dragoon.
Red dragging that name through the mud. Ugh.
Oh, that was good.
Yes.
Pro level.
Yeah.
Puns.
Puns. We got them. Cool. This is
very
Galmar. Cool. Yeah. This Greek, an atomic age Greek base. That's cool.
That's definitely oil saving centric. The refinery right in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, stay away from my refinery.
Good luck getting to that one.
Yeah, that is very heavily guarded.
Yeah. That's
Now, what would you guys do if
sorry,
you were an atomic age? Where would you? We can go back to it if you want.
Yeah.
What would your advice be for attacking a base with that particular layout? And this is I'm asking for my own benefit because I keep getting paired and I'm not doing so hot these days. So
right. I'm gonna jump to the next one if that's cool. And we'll comment on that one.
What exactly was the question again? Sorry.
Where would you start on these bases if you were to attack?
Mm-hmm.
That's his Gaius Baltar. So.
holy moly,
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love the mortar placement. He has like a super battery right there in the middle. Like anything in this radius is just going to get pounded.
Yeah, absolutely. There's kind of like, the way that everything's split up right now, it's kind of like, what is your army better at doing? So particularly out towards the north side, I'm noticing there's a lot of unit defender producing buildings. There's a lot of bunkers, there's towers and stuff in there. But then if you kind of go to like the more east side, there's that kind of section of 3 towers and the sniper tower just off towards the left side near right there. Yeah. So it's like, where is your strength? Did you bring a lot of people that are good at killing defenders so then you can go after the buildings that produce the defenders and be stronger on that side? Or are you better at punching through walls with like a wall miner and then getting through to buildings? So I would attack on that side if that's where my army composition was built out. But you also kind of have to identify like, where are actually the key targets? What are you trying to do here? Are you trying to attack and get all the resources, or are you trying to attack and get 5 stars? What's your goal here? Because there's a lot of like, where is the town center? Let's figure out where that one is.
Yep.
Over there. Where's the oil refinery if I'm going for oil? Probably somewhere near the center, right there.
Yeah.
I also noticed that they didn't protect their missile silo all that well. It looks like they probably had this layout built way beforehand and then finally finished the missile silo and then was like, yeah, let's put it over here. So that one seems pretty vulnerable to me.
Oh, that seems like a trap because it feels like this missile silo to have units to be deployed nearby. It would be definitely within the threat range of these guys in the center.
Probably a bunch of traps right in that same vicinity.
In this empty spot here, yeah.
But if we had the space shuttle, then we could just scout it and then get the quick snipe on it. Yeah. Imagine also too with the offensive missile silo if it happened to be in that center of all of the mortars. The splash damage would damage all of them, probably take out one and damage all of the others, and that would be a really high value hit for this kind of base.
Yeah. The other, I was looking here too. I was like, oh, you just take this out for a couple of stars, but then you also have the castle super close, and it'll start spawning generals right away. So it's not just the target you want to hit; it's the target beyond that you need to consider as well.
What you want to hit and what you're good at hitting.
Yeah.
Awesome advice. Very, very cool. I see like a lot of the elder players in chat being like, I could roll that in 5 seconds. You're like, man.
I totally believe it.
Yeah, I totally believe it too. We have like some really fantastic players here in chat from the things I've been watching them say. So thank you for devoting so much time and energy to the game. We really appreciate it. We have time for like one more base to look at.
This is Lord Stark.
Lord Stark's Cold War age base. It's funny, the second hour always goes by like lightning fast.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
Is that the same forum as Lord Stark?
I don't know. It's possible. So let's see. Yeah, missile silo off to the side. So
AEDAC 33, thank you for following us. It's very cool.
it'll be interesting to see where people place their
Yeah,
second
I don't know
airstrip. I wonder where that's going to.
Yeah.
Do you have to clear a forest specifically to make that? Probably. This is a fairly tightly packed base.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll definitely be a consideration to be made.
Very cool.
We gotta get room for that second airstrip.
Yeah.
We did talk a little bit about Assault Rally when Joe was on during the beginning of the second hour. So once this posts, you can go back and listen to his responses regarding Assault Rally. There are, I think, constantly some balanced things going on, and Assault Rally is one of the things that is going to be balanced in the future. Cool. Well, let's start wrapping things up. We're nearing the end here. Let's do one last giveaway here in the chat, and then we'll do a social channel plug, and then we will pack it up. So we are giving away a handful of these DomiNations Space Age patches, continental United States only. So all you have to do to enter is on Facebook Live or here on Twitch TV. Do hashtag Space Age in chat, and I do encourage you to please check your in-game, or not your in-game rather, sorry, your Twitch inbox. That's how we're going to contact you. So if you're watching on Twitch or if you're watching on Facebook, check your Facebook direct messages or your Twitch inbox for a notification that you won, and of course we'll have to get your mailing address. These are very limited. They're only for developers and friends of developers and things like that. And they're cloth and they're very cool. They look great, and they're of course for the upcoming Space Age release. So in chat for one more minute. We'll give it one more minute to run. Do hashtag Space Age. And on Facebook Live as well, you guys can do hashtag Space Age, and we'll check it there too.
Sorry, I'm just poking around
No,
the
it's
base
fine.
now and just upgrading
It's totally
random
fine.
things. So this is the level 11 barbed wire. This is the ambush trap at level 9. So these are some of our Space Age upgrades and things like that. This is our brand new mortar. Punch holes in the sides of everything.
Someone's asking really quick for the Discord for Sandbox again. I'll plop that up very
Sure.
quick.
DomiNations Prime.
There you
and
go.
Sandbox. There we go.
So yeah, grab a screen of that if you were looking for this one. I'll just run through these real quick before I do the final farewells.
Yeah, don't forget, if we want to, we could also show the preview of the next stage in the town center as the last thing.
Yeah,
We
wanted
can?
to
Yeah,
do.
we can do that.
We can do that. Okay,
Yeah,
let me get there.
Let's do it. Huh. Yeah,
So
yeah.
so
All
we're
right.
gonna do that.
All right.
Cool.
So I didn't know we could do this. This is
Yeah.
news to me.
I mean, it's gonna show up in the game anyway as soon as people get their hands on
Okay.
it.
So here you go. You
and
hear-
actually, the visuals of it work way better than just the still as well.
So yeah.
All right.
So
So
we did something extra. Like usually for these, it's just like a still image of what we think is the next one. We did something a little bit special for this one.
All right.
That's
here
why
we
I
go.
want to show it off so bad.
So the next age is
the digital age.
the digital age.
All
with
of
the
its-
cool retro lettering.
all of its 80s glory, and the splash art for that is all with the scan lines and everything, and the night vision goggles. Choice.
I love it.
It'll be awesome. Yeah.
I love it.
So in this case, coming soon means not coming for a while. 'Cause we still haven't. You guys haven't gotten your hands on Space Age yet. But as we always do, preview the next stage. So it's going to be digital. Again, confirming that Space Age is not the end of Dom. We have a lot more planned beyond this. Digital Age is up next.
My one request is a totally 80s synth audio track that's just that you just can there's like a wonder that just plays it.
Right.
Please.
Sorry.
I don't ask for much. I just want a ridiculous 80s synth track that plays in my game. So there you guys go, Digital Age. Very quickly before we get out of here, I will plug our social channels one last time. They've been popping up the whole time. But please follow us on all of these. We have Play DomiNations on Twitter, /Play DomiNations on Facebook. We, of course, have our Nexon.com blog with all sorts of historical blog posts that we put up usually about once a month, maybe a little bit more in the future. And, of course, you can go to the official forums, forum.nexon.com. And please join us there. Become part of our community. Like we said, we see a lot of familiar names. Thank you for showing up. We very much appreciate it. We are going to close out with the little trailer that we released this morning for the Space Age. And Space Age is right around the corner, guys. So, keep refreshing your game. And maybe not today, but keep refreshing your game soon, and you'll get it. Okay. Thanks.
Sounds
we very
great.
much appreciate it. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us. You guys are the best.